Welcome to the WTR Small Cap Spotlight podcast. I'm your host, Tim Gerdeman, Vice Chair and Co-founder and Chief Marketing Officer of Water Tower Research. In today's episode, I'm being joined by my colleague and WTR Senior Energy Transition and Sustainable Investing Analyst, Peter Gastreich. Peter will share some insights from his recent in-depth report of Abundia Global Impact Group, NYSE ticker symbol AGIG, including their ambitious waste-to-fuel strategy, expansion in Texas, and the partnerships propelling the company's growth. Good morning, Peter, and thanks for joining me today.
Morning, Tim. It's great to be here.
For listeners who are not familiar, could you please provide a high-level overview of Abundia Global Impact Group?
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. So AGIG, or Abundia Global Impact Group, is focused on converting waste, primarily plastics and biomass, into valuable fuels and chemicals. You can think of it as a technology-driven platform using advanced processes to transform materials that would otherwise end up in landfills or incinerators. Their products include sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, ultra-low sulfur diesel, lubricants, waxes, and chemical feedstocks. Effectively, AGIG is making waste a resource rather than a problem, and their approach is both commercially viable and environmentally impactful.
I'm curious, Peter, what's at the core of AGIG's waste-to-fuel strategy, which is to say, how does it actually work?
Well, at the heart of AGIG's strategy is the idea of waste to value. They redirect hard to recycle plastics and biomass like waste wood from landfills and incineration, converting these materials into fuels and chemicals that are in high demand. They use two main pathways. One is plastics pyrolysis, which breaks down plastic into useful oils and fuels using heat in the absence of oxygen. The other is fast pyrolysis of woody biomass, which turns wood waste into bio-oil. Both these processes produce materials that can be upgraded into fuels like renewable diesel and synthetic aviation fuel. AGIG is not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're licensing proven technologies and focusing on commercial scale-up and market integration.
So partnerships and technology sound like a big part of the story. Can you tell us more about the specific technologies and partners AGIG is working with?
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. So, AGIG has secured license access to the continuous plastics pyrolysis technology of Altera Energy. This tech is a game changer for plastics recycling because it handles contaminated plastics that typically can't be recycled mechanically, converting them into a fossil crude oil alternative. Altera's facility in Ohio has already proven this works at scale. On the biomass side, AGIG has teamed up with BTG Bioliquids, a leader in fast pyrolysis technology, through a binding agreement. This lets AGIG convert waste woody biomass into bio-oil, which is then further refined into advanced fuels. They're also working with engineering firms like Nexus PMG for project development and companies like Corvus Construction and Powers Brown for their Texas site. All these partnerships help AGIG move quickly, reduce risk, and to scale up efficiently.
So I'd like to pivot for a moment and talk about Texas. What is the significance of AGIG's Cedar Port development in Baytown, and what are the latest developments there, Peter?
The Cedar Port project in Baytown, Texas, is a cornerstone of AGIG's expansion. They broke ground on phase one in October, and the site is strategically located on the Houston Ship Channel, which means it has direct access to barge, rail, and road infrastructure, plus utilities and a steady supply of plastic waste. The first phase will feature the Abundia Innovation Center, which is a hub for research, development, and plant expansion. The goal is to have the initial facilities completed by the second quarter of next year, after which they plan to add advanced plastics to fuel recycling capabilities. The location, Tim, also gives them access to a skilled workforce and sets them up for future growth in the Gulf Coast energy corridor.
So as I'm thinking about such big projects historically, funding tends to be a real challenge. What has AGIG achieved recently in terms of its capital strategy to fund said project?
Well, AGIG has made notable progress on the financial side recently. In November, Bauer Family Holdings, which is one of the largest shareholders, increased its investment by acquiring majority of the senior secured convertible notes used to finance the Cedar Point Port site. Importantly, Bauer Family Holdings has committed not to convert the note, which gives AGIG more flexibility and strengthens their balance sheet. Additionally, AGIG raised around $8 million from both new and existing institutional investors through securities purchase agreements. These funds are earmarked for advancing the plastic recycling facility, working capital, and for paying down debt, Tim.
So if I'm to think as an investor about this, Peter, for a moment, I'd want to know what sets AGIG apart from other players in the waste to fuel or broader renewable fuel space.
Well, the company has several competitive advantages. First, they have access to exclusive commercially proven technologies like the Altera plastics pyrolysis process and PTG's biomass conversion. These are validated and scalable technologies. Second, their Baytown site on the Houston Ship Channel gives them unmatched infrastructure and feedstock access in the heart of the U.S. Energy corridor. Third, AGIG has a highly experienced team and strong engineering partners, which accelerates development and commercialization. A fourth point here is that the modular design of their systems allows for rapid replication and scalability, making it easier to expand through licensing or joint ventures. Finally, Tim, their products, pyrolysis oil, lubricants, diesel, and SAF, are already in demand and with established channels to market. So overall, this combination of technology, location, expertise, and market readiness positions the company, very well.
Let's also, Peter, while we're having this conversation, talk about environmental impact. How does AGIG's strategy and technology help advance sustainability and the circular economy?
Well, AGIG's approach is a win-win for sustainability and for business. By diverting hard-to-recycle plastics and biomass waste from landfills and incineration, they're reducing environmental harm and creating valuable products. Both their plastics and biomass technologies support circularity. This means, waste essentially becomes feedstock for new products rather than ending up as pollution. The fuels and chemicals they produce help customers meet sustainability goals and regulatory targets, while suppliers of waste materials gain new market opportunities. Their processes are also energy efficient and capable of handling contaminated streams, which traditional recycling really struggles with. So circling back to what I said at the beginning, AGIG is making waste a resource, not a liability.
This has been a fantastic overview, Peter. I appreciate it. Just in wrapping up, could you just summarize what investors should take away from today's discussion about AGIG?
Well, if I could summarize, AGIG is leveraging proven technologies, strategic partnerships, and prime infrastructure to turn waste into high-value fuels and chemicals. Their expansion in Texas and strong financial backing positions them for real growth. Most importantly, their commitment to sustainability and circularity isn't just good for the environment, it's also good for business. AGIG is definitely one for investors to look into as the market for renewable fuels and advanced recycling continues to grow. And the investors can start their due diligence process right here with us at Water Tower Research.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, as well as visiting www.watertowerresearch.com to stay up to speed on the company's small cap written research reports, podcasts, fireside chats, industry-specific symposiums, and conference schedules. We will see you next time for another edition of the WTR Small Cap Spotlight podcast. Finally, a special thanks to the producer and editor of the podcast, Krista Fitzpatrick.